I'm Richard.
And I'm Gary, and here is another frightening tale.
Good evening. Once again, 'tis the Halloween season here in the United States of America, and it is the time for ghostly stories and ghouls and goblins and other strange and weird things. So, appropriate to the season, Gary has another story that you should probably listen to with your headphones on if you really want some realistic sound, and also make sure you're listening in the dark at night with lights off. Now, the story, once again, comes from Alvin Schwartz, who we have been talking to you about for the last couple of weeks, a person who was born in Brooklyn, New York, and the son of a New York City taxi driver. And he has produced some of the most prolific children's work imaginable. Some of his books that you may not have heard of include Stories to Tell a Cat. I'd be interested in reading that one.
What story would you tell your cat? I mean, really. I'm curious.
How about this one? There's a carrot in my ear and other noodle tales. And Whoppers, Tall Tales and Other Lies collected from American folklore. Alvin Schwartz is absolutely fantastic, folks. And we are delving into his books, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and more stories to tell in the dark. Yeah, there are more scaries too. So, Gary, what Alvin Schwartz thriller do you have for us this evening?
Oh, this evening I've got a good one. It's one of my the favorites at the summer camp. It's called Meetai Dodie Walker. There was a haunted house where every night a bloody head would fall down the chimney. Well, at least that's what people said. So nobody would ever spend the night there. Then a rich man offered $200 to whoever would do it. And there was this boy. He said he would try it, but only if he could bring his dog along with him. So it was all settled. The very next night, the boy went to the house with his dog. To make it a little bit more comfortable, he started a fire in the fireplace. Then, he sat in front of the fire and waited. His dog waited with him. For a while, nothing happened. But a little bit after midnight, he heard somebody singing softly and sadly off in the woods. The song sounded something like this. It's just somebody singing, the boy told himself. But he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song, softly and sadly. The boy couldn't believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then, a few minutes later, he heard the song again. Now it was closer and louder, but the words were the same. This time the boy tried to stop his dog from answering. He was afraid that whoever was singing the song would hear it and come after him. But his dog paid no attention and again sang. Dingo, dingo. A half hour later, the boy heard the singing again. Now it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. Afraid, the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang louder than ever. Leechy, keechy, molly, collie, dingo, dingo. Soon the boy heard the song again. Now it was coming from the chimney.
Me, Ty, Jody Walker.
The dog sang right back. Suddenly, a bloody head fell down the chimney. It missed the fire and landed right next to the dog. The dog took one look at the head and fell over dead from fright. The head turned and stared at the boy. Slowly it opened its mouth and... That story always gets the kids. They get so into it. It's crazy.
You have just been attacked by another Alvin Schwartz scary story to tell in the dark.
And again, I hope you were listening to that in the dark. It's always great to get a whole bunch of friends together to hear these kind of stories. So that kind of wraps up our Alvin Schwartz stories. But if you are looking for more of them and you're interested in reading some of his books, you can always find the collection on Amazon. They sell it as a book with all 3 books in one. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Stories to Chill You to the Bone. Fantastic. And like I mentioned at the very beginning when we were telling about Alvin Schwartz, what makes it fun is if you go to the back of the book, he describes how he found the stories. And sometimes the stories have very interesting origins or come from actual events that have happened. So I seriously doubt Me, Ty, Doty Walker was an actual event. That's definitely something somebody made up, but it's a fun story to tell nevertheless. So once again,
I'm Richard.
And I'm Gary, and this was... So once again,
I'm Richard.
I'm Gary, and that was another incredible Alvin Schwartz story. Happy Halloween.